Good Monday morning, everybody. Hope you all are doing well today. I first and foremost want to welcome you to COM 3640. This is media planning. As part of the App State curriculum, as far as advertising is concerned, this is going to be a little bit different class as this focuses a little bit more on the business emphasis of the advertising course load. So I want to talk a little bit about today. First and foremost, what is media planning? We're going to go more into definitions throughout the week. However, I'm going to start talking about that a hair bit today by going over the syllabi, as well as talking about some of the resources through As You Learn, and then introducing myself and providing you a link about introducing yourself for this class. So first and foremost, I'm going to show you the syllabi, and it is available on your As You Learn, so take a minute to look through it, ask me any questions you might have about it, and make sure that everything is all set and ready to go so that we can have a successful semester. I will mention a couple things to first and foremost start off with. I do online lectures usually Monday through Thursday. They're anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. I encourage you to watch them throughout the week as much as you have time, really emphasizing treating this like a class. So taking the time for anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes a day, working on some of this material, as this is kind of the way this works in online curriculum. So I'm not going to enforce any of this. However, I would recommend it as it will be a helpful guide as far as you completing some of the assignments effectively. Because if you've never done this before, it really helps to see some of the things that I do. And so anyway, that's what I'm going to be doing my recordings. You can binge them if you want to, but make sure you're watching them. My name is Dr. Emery Stephen Daniel Jr. I really prefer Dr. Daniel, and if you have anything as far as names or pronouns you like to specifically go by, please feel free to let me know via email. I want to make sure that you are called what you want to be called. But again, Dr. Daniel is what I prefer. However, if you call me Emery or Stephen, I won't be offended. I will mention this is the best way to contact me, Daniel E.S. Notice that there is no S in my last name, but it's Daniel E.S. at appstate.edu. I'm a bit of a stickler when it comes to email etiquette. Unless we're in a conversation, please make sure that when you are emailing me for the first time, provide a salutation. Greetings, Dr. Daniel. Hi, Dr. Daniel, whatever it may be. Let me know who you are, what class you're in, and whatever it is that you need from me. And that way I can have a better assessment in terms of what I can do to help assist you. And then sign your name. Make sure, again, I know who you are in this case. So for the course description for this particular course, this is media planning. It's going to be pretty different from a lot of the advertising courses that you take in this curriculum here at App State. I can say from personal experience, I didn't really take many classes like this at all in my undergrad, and I went to App State in the advertising program, and it was just something a little different from what I'm used to because this is a very creative, heavy department. So we don't have a lot of opportunities to explore some of this material here when it comes to media planning per se. So what is media planning? And I often look at it from a perspective of, let's say you have got one of your favorite advertisements. You can make your own imagination of what you consider your favorite advertisement is. And what would happen if it wasn't on any outlet that you could see? So let's say that you have certain programs you like to watch, you listen to certain music, you read certain articles online, and you don't see this advertisement that you would otherwise say this is the greatest ever. This is a major problem in terms of how effective is your advertisement if nobody sees it. This is where media planning comes from. It comes in the where in advertising and the how. And when I say how, I'm talking about how much. So we do a lot of budgeting in terms of ad placement. And we also talk about where and when an advertisement should be placed. So this is a very technical-based course, and it deals with a lot of math, and I'm sorry for those who are not math people. If you're not, don't worry about it. We talk about this at great length, talk about making sure that you understand the problem. It's pretty simple math. You're doing a lot of stats, and when I say stats, I mean basic stats, as well as some minor multiplication and division. It's not hard math. This is not calculus or trigonometry or anything like that. You may find that easy, but if you don't, and those are courses that you don't do well in, rest assured that this math is not that difficult. I also will mention that if you're not proficient in Microsoft Excel, you don't have to worry. However, it will make your life significantly easier. The good news is that I deal a lot with Excel. I'm very proficient in it, and I'm going to give you kind of a roadmap for how to do these problems in Excel. So I'll show you how you can do some of these problems freehand, but really doing them in Excel will make your life so much easier. So keep that in mind, but also remember that I will be posting videos about that almost daily to kind of keep you on track with everything. All right, so let's talk about the requirements. So first and foremost, you have a required and recommended text. The required text is this book right here, Media Flight Plan 8th edition. Now, I want you all to pay attention to this video because I have this problem every single semester. First and foremost, why do I choose this book? So this book, well, this doesn't get any bigger apparently. So there's a reason I choose this book in particular. And most media planning teachers and coaches use this particular book. And the reason is that it's very practical. It uses basic formulas that you'll have to use, but it also has a great website. Problem is with media planning, a lot of companies don't like giving away their information unless you're an advertising firm and you ask for it. It's not always readily available information. So knowing how much a primetime slot on television during CBS is not something that's always publicly accessible information. Whereas in Media Flight Plan, we're able to get something close to it. So this is why we use it. Now this is available in the App State Library. You can order it. Do not order a used edition. Do not order an older edition. Buy it new. I will apologize. It's $55. I tried to find a book that was reasonable that's not going to cost you $300. But you have to buy it. And the reason you have to buy it is it has a code to get in the website, and the website is absolutely essential, especially around week 6 or 7 is when we start really using the website. And it is, again, really critical that you are using this book as well as going through the proper channels. Do not buy it on Amazon. Get it through the App State Library. That is the only surefire way that I know of that will get you the code and have it brand spanking new. So again, it's not ridiculous. It's $55. And if you don't have it yet, don't fret about it just yet. We are going to be doing some other stuff beforehand. I usually give about 4 weeks before we even touch Media Flight Plan. And the reason is because this is a headache every single semester. So please be patient. Please make sure that you go through the proper sources. If they don't have it, don't freak out. I make sure to ask them almost daily to make sure they have it in stock and make sure that they're constantly resupplying so that you can access it. So I think there's only 18 people in this class. Make sure that you're getting it. And again, we won't touch it until about week 4. So don't rush it. Be patient. If it doesn't come right away, we will work through it. I promise. So just something to be aware of, okay? All right, the other one is a recommended text. It's called New Rules of Marketing in PR. I actually have this on As You Learn. I spent an entire summer copying every single page, and you'll see it right here. So you can access this, and we're going to go through this book. We're going to do it really quickly. So make sure that you're reading through this. It's really good. It's an easy read, and it talks a lot about some new innovative ways of how to make your brand known. So some of you already in your introductions have talked about that you actually do some branding work, and that's great. And I want to make sure that we're aware of this. Because I think I'm doing a disservice to the course if I'm not teaching you not only some of the core elements of how to do things like traditional media, so radio, television, online newspapers, etc., but also do things that are a little outside the box in terms of spending money. I'm talking about using social media influencers, publishing on social media, going through alternate websites, and going into very niche market related content, which is something that a lot of people, they do it, but not a lot of people teach it. We'll also be talking about search engine optimization, that kind of thing. So I really want to get creative in some of this stuff, and this is where I think media planning can be a lot of fun, is because it's like building a puzzle. And a lot of the pieces, I usually say it's like building a puzzle upside down. A lot of the pieces are not really jumping off the page so that you can see it. So you kind of have to find who your target is going to. So you can see course objectives, class assignments. We will have some assignments. If we do any quizzes, I will do them announced. That says unannounced, but I might have some unannounced assignments, but I will not throw a pop quiz on you. That's cruel and unusual. You will have a media campaign plan project. And basically what this is you will be creating a media planning book. And I will show you some examples over the course of the semester of what good ones look like. But that will be what your final project will be. I will mention with this, there will be a local or national client, and they need to be real. But you get to choose. I will want you to contact me about who you choose. Again, it can be local, it can be national, and there are advantages and disadvantages to both of these kinds of projects. So, find the one that best suits you. If I have a lot of people that, since this is online, that are in Hickory or West Jefferson or Lenore, and they said, I work for a certain company, I want to do a media plan for them. That's awesome. Please do that. We've had a couple of people that have actually used the media plan, which is even cooler. Now, with that, you'll have to set your own budget based on what the client tells you. It's a little harder to find media outlets because it's so small. Whereas you can choose a national client or even an international client. But at the same time, if you do an international brand, I want to make sure that it's a national campaign. If you're stumped and can't think of anything, please, 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 please contact me, and we will make sure we work something out. And so it's one of the reasons why I want to know your interests, so I know what you're looking at and what you want to look at. So this is kind of the final thing. I will mention there's some unit exams. I don't typically like doing exams. However, the big thing with media planning is that there's a lot of jargon, and I want to make sure you know it. Because I've had several students go to have media planning jobs outside of App State, and one of the things they tell me, it's imperative to know exactly what you're talking about when you're going into it. So again, this will all be available on As You Learn. Again, I will keep you posted as that goes along. Participation and attendance. The only thing I can tell you within participation is I will post forums throughout the year. Make sure you're involved with them. Make sure you're answering them. Make sure you respond to people in an appropriate way. And when I say appropriate, you're more than welcome to disagree with them, me, whoever. But make sure you do so in a way that is respectful to the other person that is giving the information. So, I am not going to put up with any foul language or, trashing anybody for one reason or another, even if you think they're wrong. So we're going to be respectful for each other, and I always like to kind of build this class as a team, if you will, over the 16 weeks. So, because a lot of this stuff is difficult, and if you're not used to it, it's a big learning process. So some of you are going to come in with varying experience. Keep that in mind. As people are learning, I've had people that have started off as, marketing executives, and then people that's like, I don't know what the hell media planning is. So, again, a varying reach of what kind of skills are coming into this, and I want to make sure I accommodate for every single one of you. And in doing so, making sure that you participate in such a way that is going to be respectful to others. So that's going to be part of your grade there. Here's your grading scale. You know how that works. Everything's pretty straightforward. One thing I'll mention is I don't give out pretty strict rubrics. I like to keep it pretty open. And the main reason I do that is because I don't want to restrict you, especially in media planning, to a certain way of doing things. There will be things that I want you to do. So I want you to use traditional media or non-traditional media or digital or mobile or whatever. However, I'm not going to force you into certain things within those sections. So it's kind of, I'm giving you a highway to work with, and however you want to stay within the lines is your business, so long as you just stay within the lines. So that's kind of how I look at it. Accommodations with disabilities, as well as religious observance policies. And this includes with the athletics. If there's anything where you have to miss, this is a little less of this is more of a moot point within online stuff. And I say for religious observances as well as athletics, because you can kind of view things on your own time. And when I do tests, I do have a time limit. So if there's anything within disabilities that you need to let me know that you need like extra time or something, just give me the proper paperwork up front. Make sure it gets to me as soon as possible so that I can make sure that you have the appropriate amount to prepare for the exam and take the exam. But I need that paperwork. So please make sure that gets to me ASAP. Don't do it the day before the exam. Get it to me beforehand. I will mention, though, with the exam, I usually give a week for you to work on it. I think I suspend a lot of my lectures for that week and just give you that time to complete the exam. So make sure that you take that time whenever you have the time to do it. You'll see a course outline here. Anything that I've put, especially bolded, pay attention to. There are some major dates. I have put up here your media consumption log, which at the very latest will need to be September 5th by 11:59 p.m. That is going to be on As You Learn as well. I will go over that on a different day, but I'll show you where it is, and you can get started on it whenever you want. It is 4 uninterrupted days, of recording any kind of media that you view. And I kind of want to do some small unidentified data about your media consumption so I can kind of give you a little bit of outlook of what we're dealing with here when it comes to not only what is your regular consumption and how we analyze that, but also how do you focus on some of these aspects. So we'll get into that on a different day, but I do want to cover over it. So you can see here the new rules of marketing and PR kind of go through the first 4 weeks. It's not until week 5 that we actually start into media flight plan, and those are going to be a lot of reading chapters as well as completing, as you can see, the examples that are in the back of the book. So you can do these at your leisure. So if you want to go ahead and jump on and work on some of them, be my guest. But I won't put the Dropbox up until the week of when it's due. So usually those will be due on a Thursday by 11:59 of that week. So just keep that in mind. So this is basically the syllabi. Go over it. Like I said, if you have any questions, talk to me about it. That this is something I want to make sure that we take seriously and are well aware of before we get into the semester start. So next thing I want to go over real quick is your As You Learn. As you can see right here, your As You Learn will have a couple things that we've got here. First and foremost, that has your syllabi, which has an About Me. I'll go over that here in a second. And then it has an About You. Some of y'all have already answered, so we haven't even gotten started, and you're already on the ball with that. Great work. Keep it up. I will do things by week. And if you have any conversation points about how it should look for you, I've had varying students that say the week that we're currently on should be at the top. That's usually how I do it. And then I put it towards the bottom once we complete the week. And I'll usually put assignments up top as well. So if there's a way that you like it, just let me know, and I can organize it however. We've got the media log assignment. Again, I'll go over that on a different day. but we've also got the hand-in as well, September 5th at 11:59 p.m. You'll see the David Meerman Scott stuff, all the chapters here. Just follow along with the syllabi, however it's listed. And I'm going to kind of keep updating it as we go. So I usually don't put everything up all at once. Don't get ahead of yourself too much. Again, you can do as many media flight plan examples as you want. Usually there comes a time where it gets a little overwhelming, and people really second guess themselves on some of the math. So this is what I'm here to help with. Again, don't fret it. Let me know. We'll work through it. I'm happy to help out in any way that I can. Some of this stuff can be a little bit difficult if you're not used to it. So this is the media planning as you learn site. So make sure to kind of look through that as the semester. Keep checking it every day because I'm going to be putting videos up every day, etc. Okay, I'm going to do a quick about me, and then I'll go ahead and stop the video for the day. Again, this is myself, Dr. Emery Stephen Dana Jr. This is me. This is what I look like on any given day. As far as if you walk into my office, I'm usually wearing headphones, so make sure to knock loud. Yeah, I'm a little jumpy, so just FYI. I'll try to keep my door open, and anytime my office hours are open, which is Monday through Friday 1 to 4, I'll try to have my door open. And just keep me posted with any questions you have. If you want to do things online as far as like Skype, I can arrange meetings. I usually don't do them, but again, if you want a special request, I can work with that. I believe my Skype name is Emery S. Daniel. So if you want to give me, if you want to shoot a question or something and talk about that, we can. My qualifications, I went to App State here and did a BS in advertising, so when people were like, "Oh, I used to be in your shoes," that was me. So it's been a long time coming. I'm glad to be back. This is kind of a cool treat to get your undergrad here and then come back years later. Got my MA at Virginia Tech and then my PhD at North Dakota State University. I've worked with the National Student Advertising competition. I've worked as a sales representative for Rossignol. I was a sales analyst for bioMérieux. I've worked in newspaper. I've done lecturing for about 11 years now. I think this is going on my 11th year. But I've also been social media director and web editor for a number of websites and so forth. If you ever want to know any of that information, just let me know and we'll cover over some of that. But I do a lot of data-driven work, especially now. And it's one of the things that I do a lot of what I consider interesting material. And I do a lot of it in advertising. I do a lot in gaming, streaming, computer-mediated communication, that sort of thing. Got a lot of research interests. So if you're ever interested in something like that, you want to go to grad school, let me know. I'm always happy to help out in that regard. I'm born and raised in Nash County, Rocky Mount, North Carolina. I'm on the Nash side, not the Edgecombe County. Although if anybody asks, I usually just say I'm from Raleigh. Not only because I lived about half my life in Raleigh, but at the same time, I tend to like Raleigh a little bit better than Rocky Mountain. No disrespect for anybody that grew up in the 252, but I associate a little bit more with 919. This is my better half. Her name is Melissa Daniel. She is our administrative specialist, which is pretty cool. If you're in the front office, make sure to say hi. She's awesome, and she is probably one of the most helpful people in our department. So, wouldn't be anywhere without her. Glad she's with us here, not only at App State, but in the Department of Communication as well. So, again, if you're in the building, go say hi and be nice to her. This is her first year working in our department. So, again, you always want to make sure you're nice to people who are your administrative assistant specialists. So these are what we call our fur children. There's Bjorn and Nella. They are, one is a brown lab, as well as Chesapeake Bay. That's Bjorn. And then Nella is part German Shepherd, Belgian Malinois. They are good old dogs. I think they're both 11 now. But yeah, we love our fur children. We love dogs. So if you've got pictures of your dog, please send them. We always enjoy looking at them. It's good to be home back in App State. Melissa and I do a lot of hiking. I do a lot of running around campus, so if you see me, make sure to wave. Try not to throw anything at me if you can. If you can help it. I hope I'm not going to be too harsh that it would encourage something like that. I do a lot of traveling. I will make sure to let you know when I do, including next week. I go to Seattle. I might do an online lecture while I'm there. I haven't quite decided yet, but I'll make sure to give you material that week. But I do a lot of conferences. I do a lot of gaming conventions where I do research out there and do presentations, etc. This is me at the Penny Arcade Exhibition, PAX East in Boston, Massachusetts. So again, do a lot of gaming. But I do a lot of stats, and I drink a lot of good beer. So if you are a fan of either of those things, you know where to find me. I do a lot of small talk. I know there's a lot of people that don't like small talk, but I love sports. So if you enjoy sports, just let me know. Feel free to catch up and mention a game that you're interested in or something like that. So I've got a wide range of teams that are good and bad. So like the Penguins, NDSU, App State are usually pretty good, whereas the Bills, the Pirates, and West Ham United are usually pretty terrible. West Ham especially this year, and the Pirates, they're pretty bad this year. Bills might be okay. But I also like a lot of entertainment media. And despite what everybody says about the last season of Game of Thrones, I still enjoy the show quite a bit. I play a lot of video games, like I said. I love watching anime. I love watching British humor. Thus the, what they call the Cornetto trilogy right here, as well as Monty Python. So, again, if you like a certain show or want to talk about that kind of thing, that's also really well and good. And like I said, I enjoy good small talk about that kind of thing. So that's me in a nutshell. Again, check out your As You Learn when you get the opportunity. Check out your syllabi when you get the opportunity. Fill out your About You. I'm not going to actually click on that because it actually has responses, and I don't want to put that up on the video just yet. But I'm going to do my best over the next couple days to kind of respond and introduce myself to everybody that responds. So keep that in mind. And like I said, just keep an eye out for As You Learn as we go through this semester. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Be reading through David Meerman Scott. Like I said, go on the As You Learn, especially 1 and 2. And we'll be talking about that here in the next couple days. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, a wonderful Monday, and I will be talking with y'all soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.